Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to factor by grouping. Alright, so this factoring method you're going to use primarily when you have 4 terms. So the idea here is that we're going to separate the first 2 terms and the second 2 terms and then factor a GCF for both sets of terms. So first, I'm going to separate 2x to the third plus 5x squared and negative 28x minus 70. Alright, so first I'm going to start by factoring by the GCF 2x to the third plus 5x squared. So in this case, there's no common factor for the numbers. There's no number that will go in evenly to 2 and 5. So we're going to factor a variable term. So the trick for the greatest common factor of the variable terms is to take out the variable term with the lowest power. So in this case, that would be x to the squared. X squared. So I factor out x squared. Now, when I factor out x squared, I'm taking away 2 x's. So here we had 3 x's, and I took away 2 of them, so I'm left with 1 x. Here I had 2 x's, and I took away both, so I'm left with no x terms and just 5. Alright, so now with the second 2 terms, I need to factor out something, and when I factor that out, I need the second set of parentheses to exactly match the parentheses here. So I'm going to factor out a negative 14. That's the greatest number that goes into both 28 and 70, and also by factoring a negative number, it's going to change the sign of both of these terms. And I need to change both of these signs to positive, because as you see here, this is a positive 2x and a positive 5. So when I factor out negative 14, I should get this same expression in the parentheses here. So negative 28 divided by negative 14 gives me 2. And negative 70 divided by negative 14 gives me positive 5. In this case, there were no variables to factor because there were no common variables between the terms. Alright, so now you're almost done. The last thing you want to do is group this term and this term here. So we put these two together, and over here we group these two as one. So these essentially come together as one here. Now I always want to check to see if I can factor any of these terms even further. In this particular case, you cannot. So this is your final solution. Hi everyone, I'm going to show you one more factoring by grouping. This one has a little bit of an extension with difference of 2 squares. Alright, so again, first thing I'm going to do, group the first 2 terms and the second 2 terms. And again, I'm going to factor the first 2 by the GCF and the second 2 by the GCF. So in this case, the GCF of 16 and 4 is 4, and the GCF of x to the third and x squared will be x squared. So when I factor this out, 16 divided by 4 is 4. I had 3 x's, I took 2 away, so I'm left with x. Here, negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1, and I had 2 x's, I took both away, so I'm left with no variable there. On the second set of terms, the GCF is going to be 9, but remember, I have to change the signs here to match these signs. So I need this to be, when I factor, I need the first term to be positive and the second term to be negative, and right now we have the opposite. So I'm going to factor a negative 9. When I factor a negative 9, 36 divided by negative 9 gives me 4. And 9 divided by negative 9 is negative 1. Alright, now I'm going to group them back together just like last time. But the problem here is you haven't factored completely. So as you can see right here, based on our last lesson on difference of 2 squares, we have a difference of two squares here because this is a perfect square, 4 is a perfect square, and so is 9. So we have to continue to factor this term. This term we're going to leave, but we have to factor this term right here. All right, so if we take the square root of 4, we get 2, and the square root of 9, we get 3. So I'm going to factor this as 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. If you're not sure, you can always FOIL to check. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. 3 times 2x is positive 6x, so those will cancel out. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, so it does work. And then I'm just going to bring this guy down right here. So this is my final answer in this case. All right, let me know if you have any questions in the comments or on the Google Classroom page, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Have a good day. Stay safe, everyone.